Hello, friends. Welcome back to Blue Pig Reviews. Today we got a new book coming in, another chapter from Old Grand Dad, people at Jim Beam. Old Grand Dad Bottled and Bond, 7-year. Been a big cry out there for age-stated bourbons and products and transparency. And Jim Beam has done that with Jim Beam Black 7-year. And more people seem to be gravitating towards that 7-year. Yeah, Wild Turkey earlier came out with their age-stated 101. And this has the same mash bill at 100 proof as Old Grand Dad Bonded and Old Grand Dad 113, which is 63% corn, 27% rye, making it a high rye, and 10% malted barley. Let's get this on the palate, taste it, give it a smell, and then we'll discuss this a little bit. So, Old Grand Dad has been a mainstay in a lot of bars. For me, Old Grand Dad is an excellent old-fashioned maker, excellent cocktail, one of the better high ryes instead of using ryes that are more just legal ryes like Rittenhouse or stuff like that. As far as getting that bourbon flavor in. If you need a true rye, you're going to go to a true rye. This, you're kind of meeting it both ways. For this I picked up at Arlington Wine and Liquor in Poughkeepsie for $39.99. Pennies die, so about $40. And that in itself is, one of the controversial things because that's much more than Bonded and even more than Old Grand Dad 114. But let's give it a smell, taste, and see what we're working with. Okay. It's on the thinner side of stuff. Okay. On the nose, you get the usual Jim Beam smells of peanut, a little bit of definite orange, like fruity orange, a little brown sugar. Yeah. And then you get like an oak smell. A little bit of the proof is definitely shining through a little bit. I'm too nosing it too close. Yeah. Very standard fare. Like I said, orange, caramel, and that nut seem to stand out the most on the tongue. Cheers. Okay. So when you first get this on, it starts out oaky all the way through, oaky and sweet. Then it goes oaky to a fruity orange, then to a solid oak with a tiny bit of pepper, not like a lot of rye spice. Yeah. All right, now you get the rye spice on the edge of your tongue when you hold it a little bit. Sweet, oak, orange, more oak, peppery finish, a light burn from the 100 proof. But the finish isn't long. It's not actually staying with me, other than there's a bit of the oak at the back. Third pass, definitely. But it looks a little more viscous on the glass after taking a couple of sips. But it drinks a little thin. The oak definitely stays with you on the tongue. Now, we tried this in cocktails. This is an excellent cocktail workhorse as a bourbon / rye, old-fashioned, bourbon transfer, Manhattan. Awesome for that. Just like Old Grand Dad 101. So this is definitely Blue Pig approved for that. As far as the value and who this is for, considering all of the other versions of Old Grand Dad that are out there, is kind of the discussion point. This is $39.99. This is Gold Grand Dad 114, which is their barrel strength, which is almost $10 cheaper than that. And then you have the traditional Old Grand Dad Bonded mainstay workhorse of many bars as far as a bourbon for cocktailing. And it's almost $20 cheaper than that. So the conclusion is pretty clear. This isn't an awesome sipper. It's an awesome cocktail workhorse, just like Old Grand Dad Bonded. This, you could sip, you can get your cocktails on, even complicated cocktails, because 114 proof is going to shine through, and its notes are much more pronounced as far as flavors. On the far end, this is cheaper. This is something you can keep around. If something pops up, quick party, some friends roll over, you could whip this out, not feel guilty. You can keep this around. It's 20 something bucks. This, however, is a limited edition. So, one, it's expensive, but not highly expensive. It's only 40 bucks. That's the affordability, but it's a limited release. It's not going to be around for long, and it may be seasonal. Who knows? If they keep it, hopefully they adjust the price as a shelfer. But this is probably more for collectors, experience seekers, maybe a sip in a bar or at a lounge, cigar lounge. But realistically, that price range kind of puts it out. And so I know I hear people say, this tastes like what old granddad used to taste like. I've been drinking for a long time. I've drank old granddad for a long time. I wouldn't say that's necessarily true. Experience is subjective, but if that's why you're in there, and again, it's an experience for a course. But either way, this is 100% Blue Pig approved, just like all of the old granddad bottles. And I recommend, if you can get it for the experience, if you need the experience. But if you're going to cocktail workhorse in your bar, or you need some easy sipping on an afternoon with friends or by yourself, stick with 114, or a regular bonded. This is something that, is an experience or a collectible. Other than that, you can't go wrong with any of them. And like I said, if you're drinking good, then if it tastes good, then you're drinking good, and it's all good. And everything from old granddad is pretty much all good. So, cheers, good pouring from Blue Pig Reviews, and try the team. See which one fits you. Like I said, it's on you. It's your bourbon, your way. Have a good night. Cheers and good pouring from Blue Pig Reviews. And yeah, old granddad always goes with me. I'm going to go mix it into something.